We go shoot! It's the survival for the fittest!
It's the part of the misconception, and in politics, party politics, we can't rule this one out. But I can assure you, everything is under control.
So does that mean the party didn't provide enough security to abate this problem?
That's why we are able to quickly put a check to the incident that was about happening. You can see now that there's no loss of life, no injury in what just happened. So we have, I can't see any injury. So it is part of the security job that we're able to quickly calm the various factions down, and we are under control.
So how will this affect elections for this state? Because now we're hearing there's a contest over the delegate lists.
Well, in every contest, there is always a problem that...
Welcome back. That clip is courtesy Oak TV. All right, let's start from Mr. Alex this time around. What's happening with the APC? I mean, they're painting a picture of all is well, in that party. But when you see, footages like this, what runs through your mind is contrary to that. Well, what really is happening?
Well, what is happening is that we've had convention that's come and gone. There are bound to be issues. This is politics, particularly in a major party like APC, the ruling party. And there's no way you will have a convention, national convention of a ruling party like APC, and you will not have some issues. But it is the capacity of the party to manage those issues without it degenerating into something very unacceptable that matters. And we have demonstrated that as a party. Before this national convention, prophet of dooms have prophesied a lot of things, that there is going to be serious bloodbath. Because, we had issues in some of the states, during their states,
right.
congresses. So people, over 20-something states had issues. People thought, particularly those in the other party, thought that we are going to carry that into the national convention. But outside 2 states, Delta and Imo, even rivers that we thought we have serious issue. The moment the senator, who is on the opposing Right Honorable Rotimi Amaechi, arrived the ground, Amaechi stood up and welcomed him. They had, yes, minor issues, but not as pronounced as Delta and Imo. If out of 20-something states that had issue prior to the national convention, only 2 manifested, during the convention, and it was also managed, then I think we deserve to be given credit.
You deserve accolades.
Being a national, sorry, let me just land.
Go ahead.
A national party. Mind you, we have 60-something political parties. Of course, I've always say it that we have just 2 parties and others. The ruling party, the APC now, and the other party, who is sinking as we speak. All other are just mushroom political parties seeking the money they get, here and here. So everybody in APC, they see it that, look, we have to be there. It is the party to be. And so you don't expect that you won't see all this kind of a thing. But it is the capacity, like I said, of the party to harmonize, which they did. Out of 60 something positions open for election. Through politicking, through dialogue, they were able to reduce it to only 8 positions that was eventually contested for. That is politics. That is not, they didn't put gun on anybody's
Can
head.
I ask a question? I mean, I'm following your line of thought,
Yes.
but you know, when matters now become where 2 adults are throwing punches,
Yeah.
Words, strong words.
is that also a show of responsibility?
It is not peculiar to Nigeria. We see even in other climes, Western world, even not convention, in their houses of assembly, we see them throwing stones,
Okay.
throwing shares, the so-called Western world. So it's not peculiar to Nigeria, it's not peculiar to Africa.
Okay, Mr.
I am not in any way saying it is right,
Okay.
but you can't take that off politics.
Away from politics.
But
cannot.
don't you think it's actually good for one to actually change that narrative that, okay, since you guys said you guys believe in change, and
It's
you
progress
guys,
now. Yeah.
Okay, we've had the change.
I guess we'll come back to that.
We've had the
I'm sure
change. It's
Mr.
progress
Eden
now,
is
okay.
not agreeing with you.
Oh,
You see,
yes.
that's why I said
I would have
like
loved the
politicians.
PDP man to
No, I don't want to speak on. He did a good job out of
Defending his
Lai
party.
Mohammed.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have gone that far to sell his own party. I think
Allow me to do a bad job on behalf of those of us who don't
Okay.
belong to any of those.
Okay.
My brother Alex, you cannot have 5,000 policemen with 2 helicopters. I said 5,000 policemen. I didn't count the soldiers and other security. I didn't count civil defense.
Yes, because
You
they were
cannot
there.
have. I didn't count DSS. You cannot have 5,000 policemen at a convention venue, and you should. The least you should expect is 100% peace and compliance on the part of everybody. This thing happened should also be a message that there are very serious issues that the overarching presence of security men contained. So selling the party that you have this one, you contended only 8 positions and democracy, is also going back to remind us of what the old ACN and APC were telling PDP back in the days when PDP's convention were just a platform for affirmation, not for election of candidates.
Affirmation is allowed in politics.
I am
It's
taking
allowed.
you back. I'm taking you back to
It's overly done here.
No, it's not over. You are not in APC,
I am
so you
taking
can't
you
say
back
it's
to
over.
what
said.
No,
This
I
is
am
what
taking you
I am
back
the
to
one that will tell you whether it's
One else.
done or
One
not.
else.
I am
Okay.
taking you to the planks, one of the planks of your criticisms of PDP,
Yeah.
that their conventions were for affirmations, not for election. So if you came to your convention to affirm more than 80 to 85 or 90% of your positions, including that of the chairman, then what changed before we moved to progress? Because it is still old wine,
In a new bottle.
even it's still the old bottle anyway.
Because that's not true. The issue is affirmation allowed in politics? The answer is
is.
yes.
Now,
I am saying that
why did you criticize
why are
those who were doing
why
that?
so-
Hold on.
Was there,
Let's hear one person at a
were
time.
there protests after the affirmation? Were guns put on the head of those who withdrew? Either
know the
before the
answer?
convention
Let me
or
tell-
on the convention
let
ground.
me give you the answer. The answer is that there were no guns pulled during the days PDP did the affirmation, and there were no fights after some of the conventions. I worked critically with a chairmanship contestant in one of the PDP conventions in 2012. And I was at Eagle Square when this same affirmation held, and there were no guns pulled, there was no quarrel.
No, there were quarrels. Remember, that was what led to new PDP. They left.
No, that
They
was
had
that
issues.
was not 2012
In
was not
politics,
PDP.
there must be issues. Like I said, it is a capacity
Can
to
I say
manage these issues.
Okay,
All right,
Mr.
Mr.
Bode.
Bode.
Say something, Mr. Bode.
Now, I think Mr. Alex has made a very good job out of what the spokesperson, I think, Bola Jabulaji could have done in this program.
He did better.
He even did better.
hear you.
And now, I want to say that APC convention, he has come and gone, like he said. There are a lot of things. Don't forget that somebody like Kwankwaso was not at that convention. A lot of people, Dino Milai was not at that convention. The Senate president was at that convention with his one leg in and one leg out. A lot of things. Now,
That's your interpretation. But I saw his 2 legs there.
I am coming.
I saw his 2 legs
That's
there.
just a figure of speech. We know what he means, by the way.
Now, we knew what happened at the convention will happen. Because it's the same excuse that Kwankwaso gave in his press statement, that why he couldn't come. He foresaw that when he gets there, there will be chaos.
Sure.
Now, it did not take some of us as a surprise that people fought. In fact, the fight was just 2 states, and that is what made the news, that everybody thought it would be about 21 states. Now, before that convention, there are a lot of austerity, like a lot of, the president has actually come up, and that's why I'm saying that in Lagos in 2014, when they did the APC presidential election, it was a complete vote. Kwankwaso was in the race, Atiku Abubakar was in the race, Richard Okorocha was in the race, including Muhammadu Buhari. They allowed everybody to vote.
That was for the first convention.
I'm
it was
coming.
opposition party.
I'm coming, sir. I'm coming.
No, I'm just
now
reminding
you
you.
are the ruling party.
Yes.
Why are you doing affirmation?
Because it's allowed. But it's allowed.
I'm coming because you, the same people, the same set of people who left PDP because of the same affirmation are in the APC condoning affirmation.
No, you are
Not condoning, propagating
the
it.
same affirmation.
When you say propagating it, it's another. Say it's in the constitution. It's allowed in the APC
I am
constitution.
saying that because you.
Are you saying we should act outside our constitution?
Mr. Alex, let me give you the analogy. I came to your house and you said my mouth was smelling. And you came to my house. You criticized me that I don't brush my teeth. Now, you came to my house with the same mouth smelling, and I tell you your mouth is smelling, and you say it's normal that when you wake up in the morning,
I don't see the mouth
brush your
smelling.
teeth, your mouth will be smelling.
Of analogy.
No.
That's not bearing.
No, because
I am saying this thing is in APC
the same
constitution.
Hold on,
The same
gentlemen.
APC. The
Mr.
same
Godi,
APC.
hold on.
Okay.
Let me put things in perspective for us. What he's saying is the same affirmation
That you
led
criticize.
to the formation of the new PDP. Why some people moved. You understand? And of course, APC came down heavy on the PDP because of that. Now, this same affirmation is what the APC is
doing.
The affirmation is even one out of several things we have seen the APC do, for which they criticized the PDP, when they were in power. We've seen several.
Madam,
We've seen several.
No president of under PDP in this country has openly endorsed a party of the chairman.
No,
of the
they
party.
are PDP.
They did it.
Jonathan did, for God's sake.
He has never openly.
All right, let's not turn this to another political convention.
I know Jonathan.
Okay.
Don't mislead the audience. Jonathan did.
So
All
it's
right,
a normal
President,
friend.
no, Obasanjo did.
Openly.
Obasanjo did.
He came here. He came work for the chairman during that time.
Is-
It was at the hotel that the message came.
All right,
that Bamango took
let's
over.
look at
He's a friend.
let's look at the feedbacks. Let's look at the feedbacks. This one says, do we really think we have leaders? What we have is rulers, vampires, and criminals called politicians. Every politician is a born liar. Oshiomhole merits the national chairman. He really worked for Edo State when he was the governor. He will also bring good ideas to APC. This one is by Joseph, all the way from Benin.
Okay.
Now, all right, Bikau from Kaduna says it's very unfortunate that APC could belittle itself at its own convention. This is a litmus test and a proof that this party cannot deliver. A good reason to vote her out come 2019. All right, this other one says, it's a pity, Mr. Alex, you say you have to be applauded for their premature attitude. That video is not complete. I watched the clips from Channels TV. There were real punches. Yes, we saw those punches as well.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's all part
Out
of politics.
100%, 2%.
It's part of
Chemistry in
politics.
politics, 2%. 2%, 2 states?
I get
no,
you.
Come on.
All right.
It's always good that we change the narrative. That's
Yes.
just my
Isn't that what change is supposed to be
That's
for?
it. Okay,
Yes.
they've
Let's do
moved on.
things
Progress.
differently. You
So
know.
we are now progressing to
So after
our
We have changed
We are progressing in error.
We have changed the bad thing.
All right,
so
it's
we
okay.
are now
Let's not hit
progressing.
Mr. Alex too much. It's not a crime to belong to the APC.
No.
No, it's the best
yeah,
thing.
okay,
It's the
so
best party.
we're not criticizing you. All right, we'll take one more. Dr. Oladosu Solomon says, go to the city of Ibadan. You will see schools worse than that. And he also went further to say, be it PDP or APC, they are all birds of the same feathers. Nigeria is in bondage. May God deliver her. All right, gentlemen. APC convention has taken all of our time. We still have 2 more topics. We have Nigeria and the ISIS threat alert. But first, let's look at the 2018 budget. President Buhari, in his speech last Wednesday, while assenting to the budget, accused the National Assembly of tampering with the 2018 budget sent to them by cutting out essential projects and inserting non-essential ones of their own. Now, the president made one of them is that they removed priority projects of the federal government and replaced them with other ones that weren't so important. Then second, accused them of sabotaging the executive's effort of regularizing the country's budget on a January to December financial year. Now, this is not the first, we're hearing about this appropriation bill, especially pertaining to this year's budget. It's been on the front burner for too long, if you ask me, Mr. Ikem. Now the budget has finally been assented to, hasn't it? But it's as good as not having a budget, if we go by all of the allegations, the way it is, because what it means is like some projects will be sidelined. And
we've been having threats. In addition to that, we've been having threats from some other
so many issues.
Talking about the road projects that nobody.
What do you have to say about this, Mr. Ikem?
Well, it's a problem that started long before this administration. They inherited it because we seem to have over the years elected blackmailers as legislators. It was issues of budgets that took away Fabian Osuji as the Minister of Education then.
That's right.
There was another woman, permanent secretary, that the issue of budget also consumed. How does it happen? If you want XYZ sum approved for your ministry, you add a few things or part a few things to members of the National Assembly, beginning from the committee that has oversight functions over your ministry. It traveled until this government, and then, give him due credit, there was significant effort, political will to contain this shenanigans of the National Assembly, I must say. Now, these people also worked hard to insert in the rule books constituency projects and a few things of their own, meaning that part of these executive functions have become part of the legislative functions as well. So they receive this money. Who supervises the execution of these projects? The person who received the thing is the person who supervises it.
That's right.
Reports to who? Reports only to himself. So it became a problem that this government, on their own as it is now, cannot come out of. I've read lawyers like G.T. Ogunye and a few other people suggesting that Supreme Court should give a proper judicial interpretation of the roles of the National Assembly, especially in stuff like budget approvals.
Yeah.
Are they supposed to review it and reprioritize government projects? Are they supposed to review it and reallocate those funds? Is it their job to reallocate funds or to analyze the allocation and say this one is right and this one is wrong? This is a constitutional issue that we need to resolve. Otherwise, this thing will continue. But for me, the National Assembly has deliberately decided, especially this National Assembly, it is clear, the signs are there. I'm speaking in the midst of two politicians, one PDP, one APC, but I normally struggle to stand in the middle. This National Assembly has decided from day one not to work with the executive. Who are the people suffering? It is those of us outside here. I am particularly concerned as an Igbo man that the Enugu airport that was graciously elevated to international airport was given 3 billion naira.
2 billion.
2 billion, and it was reduced to 500
million
naira. I am worried that There are also stories about the second Niger bridge not even being captured in the budget at all. I am worried about so many things that this National Assembly cut down. And we are looking at a country that is infinitely corrupt. Even the little that was approved, we still have droppings along the path until the final destination when we discover that only very little will get there.
Okay, let's allow someone else to talk.
All right,
Mr. Godi.
Mr. Godi, in addition to that, because when Patience and I were deliberating on this particular topic, we spoke about the pensioners, because now we have 5 billion naira was actually cut from the provision for pensioners. From Pension Redemption Fund. We've been having issues of pensioners crying.
As if the suffering is not enough.
You understand? And in addition to that, 5 billion has actually been cut off from the budget. Where are we going to?
Well, I think like Ikem said, we will not see the end to this crisis until the Supreme Court actually, or somebody, because as we speak, no one from the legislature or the executive has approached the Supreme Court for interpretation. This thing has been going on since 1999, and even before 1999. And you know, in a country where you have bicameral legislature, you have to have this kind of problem. The House of Assembly, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. The unfortunate thing that I see is that in all of these things, among the 36 states that we have, we've never had governors and legislators in those states assemblies having this kind of crisis.
That's explainable.
I'm coming. Now, you find when you look at the Senate, you find out that most of them are former governors. Now, my question is, how were they able to contain this kind of crisis at the state level and they cannot do it at the federal level? Because if most of them were the executives in their states, they should know how this thing works. Why is it that when they get to the Senate and they have to work with another executive, the crisis erupted? Yeah. Now, what can we do? We know that our laws give the legislators the opportunity to scrutinize our budget. True. And that's why the president will always make effort to go to them and present it. Yeah. Now, the executive itself knows that this procedures is a bit complex. And what they did at the APC National Conference, I expect that because the APC still have the majority in both houses. Now, why can't this executive try what they did? The consensus, the horse trading, and the rest of the thing that reduced the 39 elected offices to only 8 for competition. Now, why can't they do that? So the government, the executive should also try as much as possible to know that they are in a phase. There are three governments and the level of government that we have in Nigeria: the executive, the judiciary, and the legislative. And all of these people play a role.
Of course, very significant. Mr. Alex, quickly, your take.
Well, for me, I would just say straight, Mr. President have since signed the budget into law. It's a law now. We should not, our appeal is an appeal to the president, the presidency, and the legislative arm. You know, that's the executive and the legislative arm to move forward in the interest of the masses and the economy. We should, these things, they are presently emerged in carryover politics. Sure. You understand? And the masses, we're not interested in that. We should go straight, Mr. President should start implementing the budget, keeping an eye on the capital projects. You know, I think for me that is what is important. That's the way forward. Okay. Or every other thing
is a distraction, as it politics. Is. Okay. All right. Our time is fast moving along, and Joseph from Benin is reacting again. He says it's very clear that the lawmakers do not want this present government to perform well, so that opposition party will use it against them. This other one is asking me a question I can't answer. Is it true that Mr. President's haircut in the budget is 213,000 naira per week?
Okay. That one has long been disputed. It is not true.
But don't wallow in ignorance. The budget is there.
The budget is in public. Yes.
It's a public
It has become a
document.
law now.
Google it.
Simply not just come out.
Can access it.
It's a
Please
public
Google
document.
it yourself. Don't put me in trouble. All right, it's been an interesting show with you, gentlemen. We don't have time to do the other topic. Thank you, Mr. Alex Eyeho. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Alex is the former president, Movie Association of Nollywood Co-Producers, and is also a social commentator and a politician. Also, Mr. Goddy Ofose, thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you.
Mr. Goddy Ofose is also a renowned journalist and also a politician. Thank you again, and thank you,
I'm
Mr.
not a
Ike.
politician. I'm a
You
professional
are.
in politics.
You are a
We
politician.
are all professionals in politics.
Mr. Ike Moku, thank you very much, sir, for coming. He is a public relations expert, a businessman, and a social
The man that
commentator.
we're about to put.
Yes.
Comment.
Thank you, Alero.
Thank you, patience.
Thank you, viewers, for being a part of today's show. Let's do it again tomorrow at noon. Meanwhile, enjoy the rest of the day. Bye for now.